You may recall films such as Back to the Future, The Parent Trap, or the recent Netflix show Living with Yourself, where scenes portray one actor playing two characters in the same shot, moving around and talking to one another without using a stunt double or a mirror. This effect is colloquially known as cloning. In this video, I will show you how you can use this effect yourself on a low budget using the free video editing software CapCut. I shall be explaining two relatively simple techniques to achieve the cloning effect, both varying in levels of difficulty and technical skill. For this technique, you'll need a tripod and a camera, and if you're just starting out, I'd recommend getting some masking tape as well. The first step is to find an area that is well lit and large enough to fit two people. From there, you'll set up your camera on a tripod. When setting up the tripod, remember that for this effect to work properly, your camera and tripod must remain completely still. Once your equipment is set up, you can begin to plan and map out what it is that you're going to film. For example, Clone A is walking into the room from the left side of the screen and saying hello to Clone B, who is in the room already, pacing up and down the right side of the screen. Remember, for this effect to work, your clones must not overlap each other on the screen. An easy way to know where the screen separates is to place masking tape on the ground in a straight line, and make sure not to cross that line while filming. Once you've planned out what you're going to shoot, you can begin recording. First, you record the actions of Clone A. Then stop recording. Now record the actions of Clone B. Once you've recorded both clips, open CapCut and insert both of them into your project. Now, this effect relies heavily on the use of layers and masking, so what you're going to do is select one of the videos and overlay it on top of the other. In this case, I'm selecting the video of Clone B and placing it over the top of the footage of Clone A. Now, select the top layer and on the control panel to your right, select Mask. This will open up a new dashboard with all the masking settings. First, you'll see a checkbox labelled Mask. If this checkbox isn't ticked, tick that and then select the horizontal mask. This will split the screen of your selected video and turn half of the frame invisible, and you should now see parts of the video on the bottom layer. Now that you have split the screen, you'll drag your mouse to the rotate icon on your player. Now rotate the angle where the screen is split until you can see both clones in the same background. Now, depending on where your light source is and where you're standing in your recordings, the colours of your backgrounds may be slightly different, which may look very obvious. The final step of this technique is to fix this error. To do this, select the blend tool and drag it to either side until the backgrounds of the two videos have blended seamlessly. And with that, you have achieved the cloning effect. However, this technique is very limited as the clones are restricted to whichever side of the frame they started on. Fortunately, there is a way to achieve this effect and have your clones overlap on the screen. This technique is more complicated than left-right masking, but it allows you to have more freedom in where your clones move in each frame. Using the same set, Clone B is still pacing back and forth on the right side of the screen, but this time Clone A will enter the room, walk across the right side of the screen and pass behind Clone B. Now, once you've planned out your shot... But wait! Don't start filming yet! A common mistake when using this technique is accidentally having both of your clones be in the same spot at the same time. This ruins the effect. So an easy way to give your clone some well-deserved space is choreography, which I'll explain in 15 seconds.
When Clone B was pacing back and forth, I counted in my head how long it took me to reach each part. At 9 seconds I was at the back wall, and at 13 seconds I was in the middle, leaving enough space for someone to walk through. I did the same thing with Clone A and made sure that he would only pass by Clone B in between those times.
Boom, choreography. Once you've recorded both clips, select whichever one you want to go at the front and put that on the top layer. Now select that video in the track list and now open the cutout dashboard. When you scroll down to the bottom, the last option should be also cut out. Select that and then wait for processing to finish. This removes the background of the top video, leaving you with a similar result to the left-right masking technique, only now your clones can overlap. By using either one of these techniques, you can recreate the cloning effect yourself at home on a low budget. Keep in mind that these techniques are only the fundamentals, and once you've mastered them, you can move on to cloning your characters in a 4-dimensional frame, a moving camera, and even with your characters physically interacting with one another. Hey! But in the meantime, pick up your camera and get to work.